Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today on my top best games of 2024, I'm talking about best reprints or best reworkings of games. Uh, Sometimes a reprint's pretty obvious. This, second edition, that's a reprint. Sometimes they even change the name and do other things to it. So this is kind of my thoughts on those, my favorite 10 reprints of this. It's always tricky because is a reprint count for Game of the Year? And usually we say, no, they're not. So but I want to give some credit to them, thus this list. Number 10, Finca. Pandasaurus brought Finca back here. Finca was a game which you are collecting these different fruits by moving around a rondel. And the number of spaces you move is the number of people on that spot. The number of fruits you get is the number of people on the spot you land on. Very simple and easy to play. This game was definitely, when it originally came out in 2018, 6 years ago, was very highly thought of because of how easy it was to teach people and play. They've pretty much reprinted it beat for beat. They've just really, really improved on the artwork, which I think is pretty good. So my number 10, Finca. Number 9 is Coyote from Heidelbar. Now, Coyote has been out for quite a few years. I believe 2003 is when it first was printed. This newest version from Heidelbar, I think, is a really good version of the game. In Coyote, you have a card that everyone can see but you. You are trying to figure out the total of all the cards at it by bidding until someone says, no, the number's not that high. The problem is there's negative numbers, there's things that cancel out the highest number, and in this new version, there's also a card in the middle, which was not in all the previous editions. That card in the middle helps a lot, and you have a way sometimes to even peek at that card in the middle, which again will help you figure it out. A lot of fun, a lot of laugh out loud moments. It has a little bit of Liar's Dice mixed with other things. This is a nice little reprint, small card box, Coyote. Number 8 is Harvest. Now talk about a reprint. Harvest was originally from Tasty Minstrel Games, a very small little box. This new one that Keymaster did is not quite so small. They have more than doubled the size of the base game, especially if you get the deluxe Kickstarter version of it. And this is a game that's a worker placement game in which you are, well, harvesting plants. You're putting them out there, you are watering them to grow them, duplicating them, and eventually harvesting them for points. And you do that all with a worker placement with spots that are going to change each turn. It's a very unusual, interesting game. I wouldn't call it necessarily a entry point game. I would call it kind of a next level style game, but I think it works really well. And Keymaster doesn't do anything by half. Their reprints are always on point, really nice stuff. So that's my number 8. Number 7 is Super Kawaii Pets. Arcane Wonders brought this little Japanese game as a reprint. And Super Kawaii Pets, I was not particularly interested in playing this based on how it looks. And the original pictures of it, I wasn't really as keen on it either. When I saw the cover, I was like, I don't know. And I found that this is an incredibly good family game. This is a game in which you are collecting these different, food and health and just loving on your pets and then turning them in to turn your unhappy pets to happy pets. Who does not want to make their pets happy? And so you do that, and then you also get beds and boxes and things for the different pets. It's a simple little game, and Arcane Wonders did a really good job at bringing that one back. It's my number 7. Number 6 is Catan Starfarer's Duel. So the origin of this is originally, there was a game made called Catan, Settlers of Catan. They made a dual version of that for 2 players. They then made Starfarers of Catan, and then they made Starship Catan, which was a dual player of that. Catan Starfarer's Duel is a reprint of Starship Catan. This is from Catan Studio, who made the reprint of this. And it's a nice back and forth. It allows even a little bit of trading, building modules on your ship. It's a pretty in-depth game and actually bears very little in the original Catan. So you might not like the original Catan, but you might like this one. There's a lot going on. They teach it in a tutorial fashion. There are many different modules and things you can add to. Definitely check out Catan Starfarer's Duel. Number 5 is one where people might disagree with me because, in essence, this is not a reprint of the game, but it feels like one. And that is Beyond the Horizon from Cranio Creations. Beyond the Horizons is clearly, especially since it's the same designer, a remake of Beyond the Sun. Beyond the Sun is a tech tree game from Rio Grande that everyone said, ugh, when they saw how it looked. It really doesn't look good at all, unfortunately. Well, Beyond the Horizon takes away the space theme, brings it down to, unfortunately, in my opinion, a more terrestrial theme about moving on land. But boy, does it look better. Everything about it looks better. It's a bigger game. There's some more changes to it, but I would say it is about 90% the same game as Beyond the Sun. It's just that this one doesn't make people run away when they see it set up on the table. Still a tech tree, still a lot of things. They just now have a little area that you go out and explore and settle on as opposed to the planets in Beyond the Horizon. Number 4 is Middle Ages. This is a reprint from Studio H of Majesty of the Realm, or Majesty for the Realm. Majesty for the Realm was a nice little card drafting game where you got a bunch of cards. They always would score you points based on how many other cards of that type you collected. Middle Ages enhances that a bit, first of all, by having tiles. And you know exactly where these tiles go by their shapes. As you put them out there, these funky shapes fit together like puzzle pieces. It's great. It looks amazing. It is such a great reprint, other than who decided to call it Middle Ages. Good grief, what a terrible name. But it is fun to play. The components are top-notch. Studio H is on their game. And it even fixed a few of the problems of the first one with a better new way to draft the tiles out there. Number 3 is World Spanner Factions, which they're going to argue with me that this is not Duel of Ages 3. Guess what? It's Duel of Ages 3. This is a reprint of Duel of Ages 2, which was a reprint of Duel of Ages. Now, they're going to say it's a completely different game. If you know how to play Duel of Ages, you're going to know how to play World Spanner Factions. That's why I'm considering them the same thing. I like it a lot. I wish this would be my number 1 if they had put more effort into how the game looks. It still does not look great on the table. It still has one too many stats in it. There's still just a little more than going on, but still. I got Billy the Kid. I got Amelia Earhart. I got Lara the Space Astronaut. You're fighting me with Genghis Khan and Beowulf. Who's going to win? It's so interesting. There's so much in this game. It's so over the top and silly fun that how can you not but like it? If you like Duel of Ages, you're going to like the new one, World Spanner Factions. Number 2 is from Allplay, and that is Through the Desert. Through the Desert is a game that's been in and out of print ever since it came out, almost 25 years ago. Through the Ages, some might consider this to be Reiner Knizia's best game. I certainly would consider it to be in his top of all time. As you play some camels out there, there have been many versions of it, and Allplay has a very gorgeous one out there. The little things that you put out, plus they have the other side of the map. They with Dr. Knizia, smoothed and massaged a few of the rules and then added a bunch of little expansions which add to the fun. Through the Desert is a great game. It's almost one of those games that I want to say everybody should play at least once in their life. I don't say that about most games, but Through the Ages feels like you should, because it teaches you that, you put out a camel, put another camel. That's your turn. That's the game. And yet the game has so much more beyond that. And Allplay did an excellent job reprinting this one. And then my number 1 reprint of 2024. How could it be anything else? A game 20 years that came out from Hasbro now comes out from Renegade, and that is Heroscape Age of Annihilation. I loved Heroscape, and I was sad after 4 or 5 years of it being printed that it went away, and I understood because of plastics. It is back now. It is more expensive. You can buy an unpainted version if you want. But it is the same game, folks. It is different. It is backwards compatible. They are releasing terrain packs for it like they should have at the beginning. They have brought in many people from the Heroscape community on board to work on this thing, and it is definitely a labor of love. This is a game where I look at it and I'm like, yes, they did a good job. This is exactly what I wanted. Heroscape, fantastic. Now, I made this list, and Renegade has released a lot of different upgrades and reprints this year, from us seeing Acquire and Nexus Ops and so a lot of things. But man, Heroscape was the one I was waiting for, and I'm excited to see it back. So those are my favorite reprints. Tell me yours in the comments. Best of 2024 continuing. I'm Tom Vasel. You're watching The Dice Tower. Hey folks, thanks for watching another one of our videos. If you like our videos, if you like our channel, you would love to game with us at one of our conventions. Check out Dice Tower Cruise, Dice Tower East, and Dice Tower West. Fantastic conventions where we play games with wonderful people, a humongous library, and lots of other events and stuff. Also, don't forget to check out our channel, like and subscribe. I'm Tom Vasel.